1591, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's
okay.
That's what. Yeah, that's the headline.
Title. Oh, they hit him with drugs too.
Oh,
Already.
and Jennifer Powers.
Yeah, 21 USC 853. That's a drug charge. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so let me scroll down and like it'll break all that down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, that's why I hate indictments, because indictments don't go into detail like the same level as a criminal complaint does. But we're gonna talk about some of the stuff here.
Wow, this is wild.
Yeah.
They had the women sign NDAs.
I mean, look,
It's like, do not reveal the crime being committed. I'll sue you.
well, a lot of times that stuff happens because of the age of the victims often.
But what I'm saying is it is incredibly silly to be committing a serious felony federal crime and then ask them to sign an NDA that they won't reveal the crime being committed. Like,
And a lot of people probably aren't
you won't go to the cops.
And a lot of the women aren't educated enough to know. They probably think they signed some type of NDA that's ironclad, and if they speak out or say anything, that they're going to get cooked.
Real quick for me, Tim.
Which one? The first paragraph on the first page?
Yeah, one. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Okay, sex trafficking. Okay, bam. Okay, defendants. Okay.
Discipline. During such encounters, Rubin engaged in conduct beyond the scope of the women's consent. So he they're arguing this dude tricked women into coming in, and then
So.
Oh, did
Damn, this is very similar to Diddy.
Well, he said commercial.
Yeah.
He said that says commercial sex acts. That means he was hiring prostitutes, right?
and then doing things to them that they did not want to have happen.
Yeah.
That's like a horror movie.
This literally is like.
Oh yeah, this first boss, like the
Because that's what they got Diddy for. Because
it's like the boon
really, what they're banging
or
he's
the
getting in trouble for is
subwoofers
male
and shit
prostitutes
everywhere.
have
Yeah, that's
sexual
what I was going for.
That's what jammed them up, because they affected interstate commerce because they were traveling interstate to engage in the sex act and they were getting paid.
You're right that
So this looks very similar to the Diddy.
Gripes.
Howard would injure them. At times, assuaged women, for example, telling them to ice their injuries and apply bruise cream.
Really, yeah.
On various occasions, victims notified Rubin and Powers that Rubin had caused lasting pain and physical injuries, including, for example, a woman's breast implant upside down and required surgery to fix.
These people are so sick, man.
So we were talking yesterday, and we had Joseph Moulton on, and he said he doesn't think Trump is going to actually go after Soros and do this. You know, he's like, oh, we've seen too much, and I'm like, Trump is doing it. I mean, like, not Trump personally. Trump is personally doing what he can. He signed the executive order saying activist terrorists. He then signed an order saying all government go after these far-left terror cells. We're seeing indictments, but it's coming from the ground up. Comey just got indicted. I think. Yeah, let me put it this way. We talked about it last night.
So they picked them up this morning in Fairfield, Connecticut.
This guy.
Yeah, they picked them up this morning.
I put out a poll just now, and let me see if I have it here. I said, do you think we are in a civil war, civil strife, or neither? 27.9 said civil war, 60 said civil strife, and 11.8 said neither is normal.
FBI's lead agency, IRS Criminal Investigation Division, is the cold case, but it's an FBI.
Oh.
So let me ask you guys, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a week later, a liberal shot up an ABC station because of Charlie Kirk's suspension. Several terroristic threats were sent to several more ABC stations. Just this week, an ICE facility was targeted for the third time in 3 months.
He killed the alien too. He didn't even get
right. He's just shooting at the vehicle.
Yeah.
What do you guys think happens next?
I think we have a major false flag coming from.
I agree.
Something so massive that I think it either takes down the internet or because they have to do something where they take out the internet because we are breaking these things down so fast. So whatever they do has to create so much chaos and so much damage that it really brings us to our knees as a country.
Remember we were warned about the cyber 9/11, that this cyber attack would hit, and many people may not know this, but there was something that happened in like the early 2010s, I think it was called DNS cache poisoning. It was such a very serious flaw in DNS, I think it's domain name services, that it would have destroyed the entirety of the internet. And there was this dude. It's been a while. Dan Kaminsky. He was a friend, but it's just been so long. Not like a good friend of mine or anything. Dan Kaminsky, he died. He convened the great powers of the internet in secret.
This looks decent.
This exploit that was called DNS cache poisoning. And he said, if this exploit gets out, the entirety of the internet can be shut down. And so all of these companies worked in secret to plug the gap and deal with the exploit. After it was fixed, they announced that this thing had happened. And it was like, this was an apocalyptic level. So much of our economy is based on the internet. I agree with you that, and I can tell you that I will put it like this. I have sources that have warned me of a potential for a very serious incident. I have explained last night.
Did it have to do with trauma centers?
No.
They said at single unit trauma centers?
No.
Okay, I heard another one.
So I'll put it like this. I did not go to Charlie Kirk's memorial because we had a security team assessment, and the threats that I've been receiving are credible, and the basic plan that was laid out as to how my wife and I would be able to go was nuts. And I described it as basically like 2 agents on the plane, 2 security guards on the plane sitting next to us, met by 2 more once the plane, so we have 4 people drive us, to the airport, 2 accompany us onto the plane.
Have you seen a spike in death threats since that happened to Charlie? Same here, bro.
Indescribable.
Dude,
and all I gotta do is tell people, go on Blue Sky. I was talking to Benny Johnson about it, and I was like, what have you seen? He's like, go on Blue Sky.
Dude,
read them.
On TikTok, because I do the college debate stuff too. I literally was supposed to go to North Carolina the next day and do a debate on 9/11, and obviously I had to cancel. And a lot of the TikToks where I'm there, they're like, "Oh, we need to take this guy out next."
It's the same thing. That's why when Keith Olbermann said, "You're next, mother effer to Jennings," we know he was threatening death. And
I'm not standing, man. I'm so sorry.
BS. So the security assessment that we received, it was like 24/7 lockdown in the hotel with guards outside the front, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. We immediately following the assassination of Kirk, the general assessment was, we need to wait to see where we end up in the next week or 2, so we can better assess the threat level. And right now, it could not be higher. It is maxed out. Law enforcement sources that we have are warning of a major incident they fear is likely.
Now,
this is internal security assessment for me and my team, and I can't go into great. I'm not going to go beyond that. But I'm just going to say this. The reason why I don't like to say this stuff is because people always say, Tim, you're black-pilled, you're pessimist, you're fanning the flames, it's rage bait. But in the context of this conversation, let me just say it. You don't even need me to tell you this. You don't even need Ryan's sources or the rumors he's hearing. Take a look at how the left celebrated the assassination of Kirk. A terror attack a week later. A terror attack a week later. Our security assessment
Don't forget
is...
the Tesla bombings.
And that,
the beginning of the beginning of the year on Elon destroyed the stock.
Yeah, the Tesla bombings. Yeah.
26
I'd already forgotten about that. That's the craziest part is just like the fact that that's just a side note.
The T shootings. We're on YouTube, so the T shootings, like the
trans shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You counted those too?
Yeah. Right.
Like on a Catholic school, like.
Right. It's crazy. Children.
Yeah.
Law enforcement source warns they fear a major attack is almost guaranteed. I gotta be careful to say this stuff. I am not. There's a reason why this is not being put out in news stories, because private behind the scenes, when they say like, hey, look, we genuinely believe the likelihood of this is 1. It will happen, and we don't know where or how, and we're trying to stop this. The reason I'm told people believe this is 1, Charlie Kirk was just killed. Immediately following this, death threats rang out. The fear is that it is not a stopping point, it is a green light. And we saw this with another terror attack at ABC, more threats sent at ABC.
More school shootings.
More a school shooting the same day as Charlie Kirk, and then the attack on ICE.
Wow.
The general assessment, and I gotta be honest, I don't even know if this is like a real, like we looked at the intel kind of stuff. I feel like any person reading the internet is going to be like, oh crap, this is getting crazy.
These 2 stories got buried with the Charlie Kirk assassination. I know there was something going on at Annapolis at the Naval Academy, if I'm not mistaken, and then a Colorado shooter.
Someone made threats online, and they thought the person was on the grounds. It resulted in an accidental shooting. There were bomb threats at various universities. Guys, what I said weeks ago.
Do we know the political affiliation of the shooter there, or the person that made the
There was no shooter. It was a guard who shot somebody on accident.
Okay, accident discharge.
The person who made the
Colorado
threat
shooter, the high school shooter, because there was a school shooting in Colorado. He was far right.
Far right? Yeah, but what is the problem is, what does right describe? If a Trump supporter on a MAGA hat and did this, that's what I want. If some fringe sovereign citizen guy with a weird ideology no one understands, right is a meaningless distinction.
Well, that's what it is. It's like whatever it is like they just jump straight to like far right. Well, this is far right, something far right. It's like
professional shot, and it's like, please go to a range.
No correlation or anything. And then it's just like, okay, so this last shooter had a trans furry boyfriend
It's like,
And we're like, okay,
So,
so
and
most
people go, "Kid,
likely he's not MAGA. And like,
Right.
we grew up on
what's your
MAGA."
proof? He's
So everybody
probably
expects
MAGA.
things
It's
to
like,
look like
what
a
are you
movie.
talking about?
The exit would have been so
Like,
massive.
there's
but,
none of it adds up.
I
So
read
like,
one report
what
where
are
it was
you
a combat
talking about? You got to prove your shit. You guys are the ones coming up with conspiracy theories now. When a lot of this stuff doesn't add up, you can't call us out for saying it doesn't make sense. Because we're saying it doesn't make sense.
On this show, do you think, based on all of your experience in foreign countries and with the people you worked with, we are headed towards something like these collapse of these nations or civil war, whatever you want to call it? And he said the one thing I'll say is
signal stuff on this one.
it's over now. One day, everything seems normal, and then you wake up.
I keep trying
and the
to.
water's off, and there's
I
no
keep trying to
internet
summon
anymore.
my
That's what he
bike,
said, no
and
internet.
it's not working.
And so, the way I described it, based on what I've experienced, and I've not been in war zones, but I've been in conflict, crisis, revolution, civil war, is everything outside of the conflict zones feels normal. And so, the story I give is when I was in Egypt during the Second Revolution, there's a guy at a McDonald's 3 blocks away from Tahrir Square.
Arab Spring, like 2010-ish?
Yeah. So this is 2013, the Second Revolution in Egypt. I was there.
Okay.
And there's thousands of people in Tahrir, APCs and Blackhawks coming in. They announce they're going to be, the bridges were being shut down. We decided to get out before it got too late. People were watching soccer matches at McDonald's eating cheeseburgers. We went to Heliopolis, and kids were playing with race cars. I went to a fast food restaurant, got kebab. The world goes on. But what did it look like in that mall? While I was ordering kebab on a stick, it was lamb and it was delicious. The TVs are talking about the collapse of their government, the conflicts, the mass protest occupation by the Muslim Brotherhood in Nasser City. And then when we left and the government collapsed, the military went and started just shooting the Muslim Brotherhood, killing them and wiping them out.
That's an ally. We give them a lot of money.
Sure do.
A lot of money.
What we are seeing now in this country, which is terrifying me, is what you would expect to see as you enter a civil war period is you turn the news on, and this is how I described it months ago, and you're watching Brett Baer, and he goes, a bomb, IED, was detonated on U.S. Route 95 on State Road 95 in Texas, shutting down trade and transport from the eastern regions to the west. So, well, maybe not Brett Baer because he's not got someone, but the newscaster says, I guess, Mary, people aren't going to have that strawberry shortcake for this Christmas, so plan accordingly. In other news, a dog won a ribbon at a grooming contest. I wake up and I hear about the ICE shooting, and we don't have any details and we don't know. You wake up and you find out that the FBI had 275 plainclothes agents. You wake up and you find out that James Comey is being indicted. These things are happening with increasing, they're exponentially, it's accelerating rapidly, gradually, and then suddenly. And so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to say we are at civil war. People are saying it's a civil strife period. I think that is fair to say this is bleeding Kansas.
Agreed. I think that, if you're a foreign government and you're somebody who despises the United States, you really don't need to attack us. You can just stand by. I mean, our country's falling apart right now. That's why I'm saying it's going to be some type of false flag. And the intel that we were getting was from a Border Patrol agent who spent 24 years in the agency, and he's got guys on the ground still. And he's saying that they're warning of some type of false flag attack where they're going to attack cities, specifically 5 or more at the same time, that specifically only have one trauma center in that major city. And then they're going to be actually already have undercover operatives at that trauma center. So when everybody basically transcends on to take their people there, they're going to be carrying out another attack, and then that attack's going to be used to drive us into a war or martial law or whatever the case may be.
I want you guys to take a look at this. This is from France 24, and it's just the first one I pulled up. Never mind the war, Syrian regime courts holidaymakers and public relations push. Idyllic beaches, pristine waters, and plush hotels dominate the Syrian regime's latest wave of promotional videos to reinstate the country's former role as one of the Middle East's top tourist spots. There's just one detail missing: Syria's civil war. When I worked at Vice, one of the pitches that I had, and we almost did this, was, I forgot the title we were going to call it. It was, we had found on Facebook that Syria was promoting nightlife partying in Damascus during the Civil War. And this is like the peak. This is like just after the gas attack. And I said, why don't we go and party in Syria? And it will be a little bit silly Vice-style documentary, but the point is to explain to people that even in the worst conflict zone right now in the world with these gas attacks, look at how people live. They're hanging out on the beach. They're driving to the mall. They're partying at nightclubs.
A spy.
I'm sure they'll let us film all of this because they want that message. But the real message we're conveying is what war really looks like. We mix the nightlife, partying, tourism commercials with the actual war zone.
Same thing with Ukraine.
Girls
right?
were, Ukraine girls were partying all. There's not many guys, but yeah, girls are still going to club and everything.
I just wonder if they were
Life goes on.
at the end of this ad, if they ran like a video from Al Giuliani that said, "I promise I won't cut your head off."
Bro,
This is 2018 though, right?
yeah, and so when we were tracking this stuff, it was like late 2013, early 2014.
Well, I mean the article. Oh.
No, I'm saying like this was happening well before the article.
Okay.
It was like late 2013, 2014 when Damascus, the Syrian tourism agency, was running commercials. And we were watching them laughing, being like, yo, there are bombs going off, highways being taken over, and the government's on the verge of collapse. And look what they're trying to convince Americans to do. They were telling Americans to come party in Damascus. Yeah. So anyway, my point is, people think life is like a movie. And that movie Civil War was so wrong about a lot of it. They like the country's based like I don't know, the guy strung up at the gas station. Some of these ideas are not completely wrong.
What about behind?
Which one was?
That was one where like the internet went down,
Right.
cars were crashing themselves, and there was like some.
I never watched that one.
It was an Obama documentary, I believe.
But I will just say, if the internet does go down at a global level, I can't even begin to describe. No more planes.
Be locked out of your bank.
Your electric car won't work. No money. You can't go shopping. It's crazy.
And if your power grid shuts down too, imagine being in a high rise. This is why I thought it would happen in the summer, because you got to be thinking about how hot it would be if they just shut off power in a New York sky rise, on the 10th, 20th, 30th floor, everybody would be forced out. Within a day, your toilets would be smelling, your house would smell like poop, it would be just disgusting. Everybody would be forced in the streets, and then it would be complete chaos, right?
The Chicago River will reverse.
Oh my gosh.
No joke. They use pumps to change the flow of the river. I could be wrong about this, but I watched something from Discovery a long time ago about what happens when the power goes out, and it was like within 3 days the river reverses its flow or something like that. Yeah, crazy things happen. We have changed this world tremendously.
Well, what did something's going on in the UK right now? There was an announcement. What did Keir Starmer something about
Brit IDs? Yeah.
Digital IDs to travel there, come into this country now. They're so tough. I mean, look at Australia. I've been to 20
videos of cops arresting people for tweets.
I've been to 20 countries in the last 40 weeks, give or take, and I tell you what, you get to some of these countries and you're just like, wow, it really kind of radicalizes you and looks at like what we think we have here as freedom from an American standpoint. You go to some of these other countries, you're like, wow, there's more freedom, there's more opportunity. I mean, you go down to El Salvador right now and you want to feel what the American dream probably felt like in the 60s, 50s, 70s. Go down to El Salvador. It'll radicalize you because every single member of their government, from the president all the way down to literally the Secretary of State, they wake up every day with one mission, and that mission is to make your life better. They want to make the life better of the citizens who live there. Every single member of the government. You go from what we have here in America to this infighting and the left versus right, and they're constantly trying to pit us against each other. You go to El Salvador, the second you get off your phone, you don't need your phone. You don't need to be constantly on social media because you just have so much to do. There's so much opportunity, and it's such a really good feeling. So I highly recommend to anybody in this audience, if you get a chance, just visit El Salvador for a week and see what it's like there. It'll radicalize you.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that's going on in the U.S., I don't think that we can really debate whether or not it's civil strife right now. And as for how much, I don't think there's a debate about it. And how much escalation, I think it depends on I think it depends on if there's actually people that want to de-escalate. I don't see. We say it all the time around here. I don't see the off-ramp. I don't see how. I don't see anybody saying things like, "This is what we need to do to cool it down." When you've got political figures on the left that are saying things, continuing to push the Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, Donald Trump's a fascist. You've got all these people saying all this stuff, and even today there's an ICE facility right now that's got protesters outside that are fighting with ICE. If the Democrats actually wanted to see some kind of de-escalation, they should say things like, "Look, you need to let ICE do their job." I mean, because these people are lawfully, they're enforcing the law. If you don't like the law, you work to get the law changed, but you need to let ICE enforce the law.
Let me ask you a question, Myron, because you did federal law enforcement.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom just passed a law saying the feds have to take their masks off.
Mm-hmm.
These feds that are operating in California for ICE, they live in California. They're California residents.
Yeah. So it depends.
They're
on if
subject to both federal jurisdiction and state jurisdiction as it pertains to their job.
So it depends. Like if they're running a big immigration operation, they're gonna probably fly agents in. You got Border Patrol there. You got FBI's helping out. Whatever. I mean, they can't. I don't really think they can do too much because the agents are probably just gonna keep their masks on anyway. Like,
So the question is, will Gavin Newsom actually enforce the law?
that's gonna be tough. Because then you know,
But just do you think he would or would not?
I don't think he will.
Because
I think it's posturing.
if
It'd be way too hard to actually pull off.
if he doesn't, then the temperature stays cool a little bit. But if Gavin Newsom actually steps forward to try and force federal agents to demask, asserting authority over federal law enforcement like this,
Can't do it.
well, he can arrest them.
So most law enforcement overwhelmingly are conservatives.
Mess that one up.
So I don't see them
How about it?
arresting
You
federal
don't
agents.
think a state trooper from a urban liberal area?
How about that?
There might be a few.
Yeah.
But the guys, you know, and obviously California is a
Okay.
a weird
How
place.
many cops would quit their job
That's-
over some ICE agent?
Or 0.
Zero? So when Gavin Newsom, and again, I don't know the probability by which Gavin Newsom will actually order this, but he passed the law. It's signed into law, and he publicly declared, take your masks off. That's order of the law from the governor. Let's say he
It's going
decides.
to create problems. I'll say that for sure. It's going to create problems.
Let's say he
Lots.
decides, I'm going to enforce this.
Chaos.
He tells state troopers, there's an ICE operation happening in their masks. Go force their masks off or arrest them. You think state troopers going to be like, nah, I quit? Honest question.
Oh, we can see in the FBI when they were forcing the raid on Mar-a-Lago and all the other things. No, how many FBI agents quit? We had like what, 5 whistleblowers, maybe 10 tops out of the entire agency.
So the state troopers likely will say, look, man, I'm just doing my job, right? I'm just following orders.
That's what they always say.
Federal ICE officer is going to be like, you are not taking this mask off of my face, and I'm doing my job under orders of the President of the United States. So who wins?
You know,
Technically, the supremacy clause, so by the order of the law, the federal officers don't have to listen to the local officers.
That's the point.
and also remember that like a lot of these guys, you know, local law enforcement has an incredible amount of discretion. They actually have more discretion than feds do. So it would be a nightmare to actually pull off because, you know, every agency is going to kind of run it the way that they want. Now, the state police, they're going to have less power because obviously the chain of command is they deal with Newsom directly, like their protection detail. So, you know, I could see state troopers potentially doing it, but
What if Newsom steps it up and says, I'm not going to send state police to go and
Gavin Newscomb. I call
I'm
him
gonna
Newscomb.
use the
That's
California
just what
Tax
I call
Department,
him.
And I'm going to take your home from you. And I'm going to put you and your wife
Some
and your
people
kid
call
out
him
on the
that, but
streets
that's
because
just
you
what I
broke the
call him
law.
too. I came up with it.
like so.
It's
These
mine.
agents live in California.
Of course.
If they decide
Wish
to
I could
break
do it as well as
California
Shane
state law,
Gillis. He's
which
so
is
fucking
law
good at
right
that.
now, by wearing a mask. Gavin Newsom has a plethora of enforcement options to go against these people. The question is, will the ICE agents tell Trump, I can't do this because the state is going to come after me? Or will Trump say, or will they say, no, I work for the federal government, these are my instructions. We are looking
It's going to create a political nightmare. I want to know how
That's
to say
the
that.
point.
Yeah, it's going to create a political
Let me just put it like this. The reason I bring this up is
because the agents aren't going to take their masks off. They're not.
the law is clear in California. It's been signed. Both chambers passed it. The governor signed it. ICE must take their masks off by order of law in California. These ICE agents largely live in California, have homes in California, and pay California taxes. The argument is they won't do the job if their faces are exposed because people will come to their homes and attack them. It'll put their families at risk. So we have a few different outcomes then. Will the ICE agents just say, screw up Gavin, and Gavin does nothing about it? Maybe. Will the ICE agents say, I can't do this job and live in California at the same time, so I quit and I'll go find a job somewhere else? Maybe.
Transfer to another field office.
But listen, somebody who's got 2 kids and a wife and a house in California, they're not going to sell their house and sell all their assets, pull out of
Yes.
school, and then move to Colorado or DC or something. This was the problem we had in the American Civil War. These generals were trained at West Point and were friends with each other. So when I can't remember if it was like Jackson or I think it might have been Jackson. My home or my country? I choose my home.
Oh,
Here's the thing, it's
buddy.
a nightmare because keep in mind that when they're doing these immigration raids, you got ATF agents there, you got FBI guys there, you got DEA, you got pretty much every federal law enforcement agencies out there. So Gavin isn't going to just launch this on ICE. This is going to be on all the federal agencies. So it's going to create a lot of problems. A lot. So I don't know how he's going to actually enforce it.
I just want to know, why has Gavin Newsom not been investigated? How does a man that has never produced an ounce of wealth, that's probably worth, what, 50 to 100 million, if not more, Nancy Pelosi's worth, what, 280 million now?
I think he released the wine yesterday.
How is it possible that these people have amounted this much wealth and they treat us like we're their slaves? They're not our public servants. They stay in office forever. How is nobody investigating them, is what I want to know. I think that's what the American people are the most upset with, is that we have received zero accountability. And these
Yeah,
people are
F that thing. Those turrets.
Yeah, I mean, California sucks, bro. Like,
It's a dumpster fire. You've been to Skid Row lately? I was out there with the junkies like 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago. It's disgusting, dude. The entire city is just, every business is abandoned. You see one business in,
Portland's
it's like
pretty
a
bad,
Chinese
too.
food or something. The next 10
Even
buildings
in
are
this
open.
area,
I
it's
don't even know. And he's
pretty
making,
bad.
What, like $68 billion a year in our tax dollars that goes to California? And what do they do with it?
You know, we're close. We're out of time. I know I talk a lot, guys, but I just want to say one more thing. In the American Revolution took 20 years. When the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, the war had already been on for a year. The shot heard around the world happened at Lexington and Concord a year before the Declaration was signed. When they signed the Declaration of Independence, they sent it off to the Crown for recognition, and it took 3 months for the King and Parliament to even review the Declaration of Independence. It was an additional 3 or so months for a response to come back to the colonies. That means the Founding Fathers were at war for a year. The Revolutionary period, the Boston Massacre, and the Tea Party were years apart. And they sit down, they say, okay, let's sign this thing. They sign it, okay, let's send it out. And then they went and farmed for 3 months. Every day they woke up, nothing changed. The postal carrier came by maybe at the end of the week, no news.
Ooh.
Went farming again. Woke up, checked the chickens. We live in this time of instant data transmission. And so
Son of a
everything
bitch.
is happening substantially much faster than it had in the past for all of these great historical moments, even with World War I and World War II. So where we are right now, it is, we just had 3 terror attacks in 3 weeks. We've had 26, and that's not all of them. The 26 was just like a quick list compiled like I made through ChatGPT. This year, 26. 9 months in. So we're looking at 2 or 3 terror attacks on average per month, and like March was actually way worse.
Cripes.
Right now,
do you know how many left-wing terrorist attacks we have versus right-wing?
oh yeah, 0 right wing.
The guy from Colorado wasn't? You would say?
So
even if it was one.
I think the fair estimate would be 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I'm not going to try and nitpick. There's arguments over the guy who shot the Minnesota lawmakers. He was they said he worked for Tim Walz, but he was arguably a Trump guy, and so it's conflicted. But I'm going to let the left, by all means.
Even if we give it to them,
who cares?
They're 10xing us. They're 5 times xing us.
But so the argument there is that the guy it was personal. He went after them for personal reasons, not political reasons. But we don't know, so let's just say that was right-wing motivated political violence. I don't even care to say they're 10xing us. The point is the conflict is happening.
You know what's funny? I didn't see conservatives dancing that when they obviously had that unfortunate tragic incident happen.
Right. No, nobody did.
And so prominent influencers say, yeah.
Will Kane, Jack Posobiec tweeted Bloody September. Will Kane opened his show calling this Bloody September. If we look back on history at how they condense things and say, this happened, this happened, this happened, think about what they would write about September in terms of the concentration of history compared to where we are today. In September, Charlie Kirk, the most prominent non-political conservative personality, technically probably the most prominent outside of Trump, was assassinated. Charlie, a week after the assassination, a man shot up an ABC station, a local television station, because a partisan had been removed from the air. This is how the history books would write. Charlie Kirk is assassinated by a partisan supporting the mainstream Democratic Liberal Party. His ideology was in line with trans ideology. A week later, after a liberal partisan was removed from the airwaves for shocking comments about the assassin blaming the other side for the killing, a man shot up a local television station and several more threats were made. A week after that, a man got on a roof and fired onto an ICE facility with the intention, according to the evidence, to strike terror into the hearts of ICE agents so that they would, I'm paraphrasing, always fear that a sniper could be on any roof or around any corner. This all happened in the span of a couple of weeks. History normally, these things take months. It is happening faster and faster and faster.
You took yourself out right before getting arrested, right?
Right. Then we have the indictment of Comey. We have these other low-level financier
I think he surrendered this morning.
Comey, right.
I think he surrendered this morning.
But more importantly, on September 21st, Gavin Newsom ordered federal law enforcement to remove their masks. think about what a history book would write about this past month. They would write, the governor of California ordered federal law enforcement to obey his command, remove his mask. This all occurred at the same time that the state and the federal government were fighting in court over who had control of the National Guard of California. That fight has not yet been resolved. Where we go from here has not yet been written. We don't know.
Yeah.
But if you try to imagine everything from the highest level of politics, again, the most important, in my opinion, being that Trump and Gavin Newsom are arguing in court over who gets to control the National Guard. That's where it gets crazy.
It's just
These
the
National
gossip.
Guard men and women that Trump is fighting for,
Wow.
which he currently
Just
has,
like the whole political
live in
era of just
California,
gossip and stuff.
where
It's
they
just
leave their
funny.
homes behind, their families behind.
It's just
They pull
so
their children out of school.
unprofessional.
If Gavin Newsom says, I don't care what Trump's
It just kind of
courts
cracks me
say,
up.
we know his courts are rigged.
It's like we are in a
Democrats have
weird
made that
era.
argument already. So that's my final thought. If you guys want to,
It's like teen
give some final
gossip.
thoughts before we wrap up here. We're a little over time, but it's okay. And then shout out.
Gavin,
Yeah,
not my friend,
you know, I
not a
think
good
that we have
guy.
the idea, and I just really want to stay focused
Dog
on the fact
face.
that we have Turning Point, who has video footage of exactly what happened. We also have the FBI, who has video footage and surveillance footage from the CCTV video. They wanna be
Yeah, the
most
intros to the bosses. Yeah, Luke's right. Yeah, I forgot about these. Truant.
Well, I think that there's a lot more to the story.
Mouthpiece.
My name's Ryan Mata.
Yeah, dude,
documentary
like-
journalist, documentary filmmaker, and investigative journalist. I've got about 6 documentaries out. in the
There
last
was
year,
not-
and I have another one.
There was not really cool
Child trafficking.
intros.
If you want to really dive down the rabbit hole and understand what our government's involvement in child trafficking is, stay tuned for about 2 weeks from now. I'm going to be dropping a documentary that I think a lot of Americans
Not
will
good.
enjoy, especially if you've had your children taken from our government. God bless you.
Myron Gaines, you guys can follow me everywhere. Instagram, Fed Reaction, it's at 100K, I think. You crossed it on Instagram and banned like 10 times.
I need another
Then
gun.
YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, all Myron Gaines X, Kick as well. I'm going to stream tonight at about 10. We're going to cover Netanyahu at the UN getting food and everything else like that. And obviously Trump not saying he's not going to annex the West Bank, which is, good news. I hope he actually follows through. And then, impending war with Iran. So I'll be covering that tonight, probably around 10 p.m. guys.
And Phil That Remains on Twix. The band is all the rage. Check out the band on Apple, Amazon, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. Don't forget to love.
We're back tonight at 8 p.m. for Timcast IRL, so don't miss it. Thank you all so much for hanging out. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast, and we'll see you all then.
Get him, buddy. Crap. Oh, you son of a bitch. I was going to get that second win. The speaker killed him. That's not nice. Not nice. What do I have? I got a fly in my ear. What else we got?
What's wrong, everyone? Jeremy here on the Jeremy Hambley channel. I don't know where it's showing, but I hope that you will leave a like on the video and subscribe. You may recognize me from my many other channels, but this is my personal channel where I cover a wider variety of topics in a little more spicy or a little more casual, uncensored way. I'm doing at least one video a day here, 1 to 2. So I hope you'll check this out. Now, one of the biggest mysteries remains is Thomas Matthew Crooks, the man that missed Donald J. Trump's head by about 2 centimeters in Butler, Pennsylvania this past summer, that could have altered the future of this country forever, quite frankly. And remember when they went and like searched the parents' house and all the trash was gone, and you know, then they searched the,
maybe I just get to
all the
level.
silverware was gone, and
That's probably
all this
smarter.
crazy
I'm level
stuff.
6. I could get to level 8 in no time.
It's weird. There was all this weird stuff.
I don't think I'm gonna beat this boss.
He had
with
all these cell
this
phones.
pea shooter.
They
I
never
probably
really got into
could,
them.
but
Well, I don't know why, but we're getting an
Ooh,
information
much better.
dump on a
Much
Friday
better.
here, and some interesting new chilling video of Thomas Matthew Crooks has made its way to the internet, as well as more information. Let's get into that. By the way, thank you everyone who has joined in.
First shot.
The
Okay.
best way to support my work is to go to thequartering.com/join. That way you can talk. It's a chat room that I'm in. You can talk to me directly. There's church groups in there, self-defense groups, new moms group, new dads group, book clubs, fantasy football, all the kind of stuff that you want to hang out with all your fellow viewers. And you can talk directly to me, thequartering.com/join. I hope that you will support the show by going over there. Would-be Trump assassin Thomas Crooks now seen in chilling new video dry firing his weapon in his bedroom. Chilling videos have reportedly emerged of the attempted Donald Trump assassin Thomas Crooks dry firing a weapon while in a tactical stance in his home. The short but jarring, undated clips were purportedly posted online by Crooks, but later scrapped from the internet after he went after Trump. This is very odd to me. This
It's a little
is the first
weird.
I've heard of these videos.
Yeah, that's kind of. It's
Not
like
just the first they've been reported on.
like
but the first
several
I've even
months later,
heard
or
of them.
when was that? That was like a year ago,
It's
wasn't it?
the first I've heard
God, has
of
it
them
already been that
at
long?
all.
Because yeah, I was still in
And
Montana.
Now suddenly we have,
Yes.
you know, video of him weapons training.
Yeah, a
Very
year
odd, isn't it?
later.
At least it seems like to me very odd. And I'm not trying
Because
to do
the
Candace
internet
Owens
is
thing where
quick.
I'm just asking
They're
a question. Like,
they
the whole thing is
usually
just
don't
very
take
weird.
more than a couple days to find
Um,
something like in the deep,
This says here,
deep fucking
they were
web of
published
like
by
something
Candace Owens on her
in somebody's
podcast
history. So it's
Wednesday.
like it.
Cell
This
phone
sort of
video showed
thing,
Crooks record
a
weapon that
year?
was placed on top of a quilt of his neatly made bed. He then flips the phone, revealing a sniveling and skinny Crooks in athletic wear in his sparsely decorated bedroom, featuring a Marvel superheroes poster. The video showed. Crooks picked up the weapon, which is blurred by the publishers, and enters into a tactical stance as he dry fires that presumably at an off-camera target. Even another shorter video. I think they were published to Reddit. I'm not totally sure. I saw that. I can't be 100% sure, but I saw that floating around. Another shorter video also posted. He holds a weapon, this time in front of what appears to be a sheet of target paper marked with blue circles, taking the same practice stance with the firearm as he stands perfectly still. The would-be assassin's digital footprint has revealed that Crooks has a twisted obsession with assassinations, mass events, weapons, and
There we
explosions.
go. Now we're
The
getting
investigation of the
respawns.
laptop owned by Crooks was analyzed by the FBI, showed that the attempted assassin made a Google search for how far away was Oswald from Kennedy on July 6th, 2024, just 1 week before he fired at Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Parents took a lot of Tylenol, I think. Former FBI Director Chris Wray claimed to Congress that Crooks was not on the radar of federal law enforcement organizations prior to the Butler attempt. Crooks researched Ethan Crumley, the Oxford high school loser who took out 4 students and injured 7 on November 30th. He also researched other mass events and reportedly looked up how to build things. Look, I feel like, there's something about using fear, you know, being afraid and then using that to accept more surveillance. But I'm really noticing a trend. Whether it was the Dallas ICE shooter or these other individuals, they seem to be obsessed with other school events. They seem to be obsessed with conservatives. And other, like, if you hit the trifecta of looking up school events, looking up how to build weapons or you know, things like that, and other assassinations, I'm okay with like a little signal, ding, like a little flag. Hey, go stop by. If they look up your picture and you look like this guy, I will, you know, I think you should basically have a full-time handler. Well, they have a handler. Some people might argue they do have a handler. Crooks made his last search just before he was fatally taken out, searching for some spicy photos on his encrypted Samsung phone, according to. So right before he got blasted, he wanted to remove one more from his chamber. And that's also another common trend with these shows, is adult videos, right? It seems like a common trend, whether it's the Charlie Kirk assassin, the ice guy, Charlie Kirk's assassin's trans lover. They all seem to be into different forms of degeneracy. Previous reporting said his search history comports with internet history published by Owens in his report Tuesday, in which she claimed searches for the deadliest mass events in the world, Pulse nightclub, body camera, fertilizer, tools, Molotovs. The reported internet history also contained aggressive comments on YouTube videos, including one in 2019 statement in which Crooks advocated for removing the heads of Trump-hating Democrats, according to the report. Again, which is very, very weird because, I mean, why would you, if you wanted to take out Trump-hating Democrats, why would you take out Trump? A lot of these people are really hard to understand. I think it's mostly because they have the brain scramblies. You know, the forest
None of it makes sense. They're like, well, I mean, right?
He's clever and convinced the trees because his handle was made of wood. He was one of them. I mean, all of this stuff. More than a year later,
we're talking about you.
This guy's a video of him dry firing in his weapon. Who was he communicating? Who? Where was he before the attempt? How is he connected to those offshore accounts? This is.
It's like people don't even get us, man.
All this stuff out of the Charlie Kirk shooter. We know everything about him. There are no mysteries with that guy. We know exactly how he arrived, where he arrived. We know what he believed politically. We know who he was dating. We knew who his parents were. We knew who his entire online history. We had his gamer tag, his old streaming accounts. All of that information was available with the guy in the Charlie Kirk scenario.
His gamer tank.
Everybody's obsessing about that because it's, you know, people can make a lot of money with it, but we don't know nothing about Thomas Matthew Crooks. Nothing. Why was the silverware removed? Like, literally, why? Why was the silverware removed? As nobody knows what's going on with that.
Fast travel is the orange icon.
The video, actually. Now they put spooky music behind it, but I'm gonna turn it off because it's
going. Yeah, that was. What was that?
He's got nothing decorated in his room, and he's like, he's got his fan on high, and he's, you know, got our generic Marvel poster. And here's him with some range targets.
Oh yeah,
also doing
equip that shit.
I don't know why he's filming it. Maybe he's trying to work on his form. I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think uploading a video of yourself like using a weapon, practicing with a weapon, any of that kind of stuff would, you know, should be any kind of flags on anybody. But if you're also writing these like deranged comments online, if you're also consuming degeneracy, if you're also, you know, doing it feels like there's kind of a witch's brew of you know, pretty clear indicators on what causes these, you know, good precursors, I'll say, of who these people are and what they might be doing. So I don't know, you know, I think there are still, I mean, I know Candace is making hay on the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, but it'd be cool if she turned her powerful investigative skills or network.
Yeah, this game plays so much better than the other one, and it's bigger too. It was like 100 and something gigs versus like 60 on the other one.
nothing.
How does this work? How does I'm not a
And the FBI, I mean,
you know, I'm not a
did the FBI even
what do you call it?
were they
A
even-
tech
Did they
surgeon.
ever even get into his phone?
So how does
Remember
this
they
work?
said that he
Like,
had,
how
these
does a game?
offshore Russian accounts or other VPNs?
Because
or
I get,
chats
is
and
it
all
the
this
open
kind of
world?
stuff.
It's got to be the open world.
You know, how did he go?
Because
from
like,
loving
what
to
is
hating
what is
Trump?
so much
You know, a lot of
bigger
people
about
say
that game?
Donald
It doesn't
Trump.
even seem
I
as
don't
big as
know.
this one.
But you know what? Shout out to Candace.
And
I
2
don't
is pretty
think-
big
I don't
too.
Love what she's doing with the Charlie Kirk stuff, but this is a great find for her. And
What's going on?
send it to her. That's also even better. The videos were undated, but I mean, he looks like he's probably in high school here, so probably a few years before he
Oh,
went after Trump.
respec. God damn
Very,
it.
very creepy stuff. We still need to know much more about him. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you haven't yet. Please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
This is an opportunity, boyo. I can help you freshen up your look.
Yes! I'm gonna be bigger and badder than ever! But this is an important fashion decision. Bring me replacement antenna options, recruit! Options, I say! Go for it! Even though finding me a new antenna is vitally important, you can do this mission on the side. And you'll probably want to get a vehicle for this one.
What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from, well, the Jeremy Hambly channel. It's my personal channel. It's a little spicier, and it's where I want to cover maybe some more hard news stuff, or I'm kind of less interested in entertainment stuff, but more interested in, you know, maybe the bigger stories, and of course it can be a little uncensored here too. But Lance Twiggs, the trans boyfriend of the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk, had been on the run. Well, we have finally heard, at least from the local sheriff, where he's been found. So that'll be interesting. As well as the
My
whole
ear hurts.
family argument that turned the straight A talented musician Lance Twiggs into a trans furry consumed by drugs and video games. Must have been some heck of a argument. Heading into this weekend, it's Friday, working hard to bring you guys extra videos off main. One thing I'm hoping I can really call on you is to join our members area. Just go to thequartering.com/join. It's a chat room. You can talk to me directly. It's a community. There's a million videos on YouTube on how to use Discord. It's very easy to learn. And you get news there first. And most importantly, it supports the channel in a big way. It's a few bucks, but it adds up. You know, think about a couple hundred people maybe join. That would be, you know, help a ton. But if you appreciate the reporting, please do join. Reports now indicate that Lance Twiggs vanished after the arrest and may qualify for witness protection, which includes relocation for safety. However, this exact whereabouts remain unconfirmed across sources like the Daily Mail and The Week. Well, a sheriff has commented on it. Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby stated that Lance Twiggs is in a, quote, safe space very far away from St. George. He needs to, quote, lay low for a long time. Per reports from Radar Online and the Hindustan Times, he's cooperating with authorities and has not been charged. What does that tell me? Well,
Heh, 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 heh.
probably in witness protection.
Heh, 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 heh.
That's. I mean, I don't know.
This
any
reminds me
other
of the
way to
Terry Crews
interpret
thing.
that.
And I want you.
I'm not really sure how else
My headset.
you might interpret that.
Whoa!
This is
What was that
absolute
special beam
bonkers.
cannon bullshit? What do we got going?
I want to know.
What's going on?
why,
Ooh,
if
badass
why
tank, dude.
He's receiving.
That's one badass tank.
You know.
Katinka
you know,
Inga
if or why
Begoven
he's
and
receiving
ooh.
federally funded witness protection when he hasn't even been cleared, at least to my satisfaction, from his participation in the
Katinka
assassination of Charlie
Inga
Kirk.
Begoven
I
and
do not believe, and I need to see a lot more evidence to be convinced that this individual
Much better?
has not or was not
Much better?
involved in what happened to Charlie. I believe
Much
many
better?
people out there believe that he was involved, that
Let's
he
go
knew
faster.
about it. I just don't believe that there's a scenario where he didn't know. I don't believe that there's a scenario where, you know, his boyfriend, who was doing this to impress him, to protect him, didn't tell him anything about it. Like, he knew nothing about it.
Shut
He
up,
just knew
Claptrap.
Nothing about it. I don't buy it. And so I guess he's been found, but he's apparently in witness protection. Again, also, Katniss Owens drawing some heat, saying that Tyler Robinson never stepped foot on UVU campus and that his parents never turned him in. She also says that the FBI lied about his parents noticing him and more.
Really?
There's all sorts of really bizarre things coming out of Candace Owens right now. I don't really know if she's
I can't
just having a
tell
laugh
yet.
and having fun. You know,
It seems like
having
she's
turned
gone
him in
fucking
after
crazy, but at the
confessions
same
also
time, I'm like, I don't
conviction.
know.
To the contrary, Tyler Robinson maintains his innocence.
She
and
has
never
gone a
been to the
little
UVU
batshit.
campus. There are absolutely zero photos or evidence of the campus carried to produce the contrary. All of that is untrue, verifiably untrue. I have a different video later where I kind of address some of this nonsense that people are doing. I understand conspiracy theories are fun, sometimes they end up being right, but I think what we're seeing here with Charlie Kirk's assassination is something very different. Something more sinister, something meant to divide.
Ooh, I like
meant
that.
to
You can go left and right on the
obfuscate truth,
D-pad
something meant to actually help
to switch
the left.
through missions.
Now,
I
the
think
volcanic
that's
family argument
that is
turned
smart.
straight A
That
talented
is neat.
musician Lance Twiggs into a transfurry consumed by drugs and video games. Uh-oh. Just like the ice shooter, it's the video games. The lover of
Am I
Charlie
gonna
Kirk's
start
alleged assassin was kicked out of his
developing
family home
them
after getting into
tendencies
an explosive fight with his father
of a
over
crooks?
religion. A friend of Lance Twiggs, who the transgender boyfriend of accused
No,
Charlie Kirk
life is
assassin,
too funny for
claimed
me.
he became homeless in high school after rejecting Mormonism. Braylon Nielsen, 19, told the New York Post that Twiggs would occasionally live with her family.
He played
after he was kicked
video
out of his parents'
games.
house.
Yeah, like
I love
most of
Lance.
us
His
do.
parents kicked him out of his house. He lived with us. His parents never sat right with my family, she said, claiming they ultimately kicked him
Yes,
out for
there's
rejecting
my
Mormonism
car.
his junior
That's where I
year.
parked my
Nice
car.
work. I don't support this. You know, I've had, you know, friends who had very hyper-religious parents that literally disowned their kids when they did not follow the same footsteps into their faith. I strongly condemn this. I'm not sure this is what Jesus would want. I think maybe not everybody's ready for religion at the exact same time.
No, they're
And
not. It takes people to.
if
It
you
took
do this
me
kind of thing,
almost
all you do is
40
basically ensure that
years.
they will never
38
find
years of
God
my
or
life, and I'm
find
finally
religion.
accepting Jesus.
And in this case,
Finally.
you just turn him into a trans furry.
It's because I had to
who,
see
in
it.
my opinion, was closely involved.
It's weird.
in
It's
the
all like
assassination
fantasy
of Charlie
football. I
Kirk.
always say I got to
just
see it
don't
before I
believe
believe
this
it.
guy
Before
didn't
I like
know.
pick up a player, and I'm like, all right,
just-
I'll
need
roll
to
with
see
this
more
guy. I'll
evidence
put him
from
in my
guys like
lineup.
Cal.
Same thing with.
One social
It
media
was
post
kind of the same
viewed by
thing
the
with
outlet showed that
religion,
Twiggs
you know.
played Gershwin's
It
Prelude
was almost like
#1
I,
in the 2020
all the
recital
things
along with
that
his brother,
they
who
was
played
told to
Chopin.
me.
The kids' music.
I was like, okay, you know, I believe that you believe it. You know, whatever. Like you feel very strongly about this, but it just sounds like a fairy tale. But then you start to see it, and I believe it because I'm starting to see it.
Saying it had nothing to do with the religion. The
Too
relative, speaking
much
anonymously,
evil
said Twiggs had
happening
been
in front of
struggling
our
with
eyes
gender identity,
to deny
substance
that
abuse
there
problems,
isn't some
and
sort
was
of
addicted to video games.
war of light and
These are
dark going on right now.
At least two of the three main key factors in also the Dallas Ice.
And the
journal.
Bible just
the video games
keeps.
thing, everybody plays video games. I play video games. Like, define what addicted to video games is.
It keeps-
I mean, when you're addicted, that
it
means
keeps
you're not
coming
going to
true.
work, it's ruining your life. Is that the case?
Certain
with
things
Lance? I
that
don't
that have
know. I
been
mean,
foretold
clearly
is
he could
just
afford
like,
rent
yeah,
in his
it's
$1,300,
there and it keeps
$1,400
coming
a
true, and
month
it's
rent.
like,
His
for
father
how
was
much
just
the
being
left
respectful,
says that it's
and it
not
was
true. It's like, you
problematic.
guys are
So they
like,
kicked him out.
you're making a
Twiggs Relative
believer out
revealed
of
in
me,
an interview with
out
Fox
of
News.
most of us.
He then with his grandparents.
You're
until he
making a
was 18,
believer
he
out of
graduated
us
from high
because
school,
of
so he
how
was
you're
never
acting.
homeless,
It's
or maybe
like,
very
you
briefly.
are acting in every
But
way
the
that the
real reason he was
Bible
acting out is because he was using drugs and
told,
alcohol
like
and
Sodom and
addicted to
Gomorrah,
gaming, she added.
straight up.
Twiggs
I see it
hasn't
in
been charged with
Portland.
any crimes,
That's what I see
and
Portland being.
Authorities said he is cooperating with the
I
investigation.
want my car.
Robinson now faces aggravated charges for obviously everything he did. The relative said that Twiggs moved into a townhouse with other college students before Robinson even lived in the home. The other roommates eventually moved out, leaving Twiggs and Robinson. I guess when you're bored, you just become gay? I don't know. I don't really understand. In a separate interview, an anonymous relative told Fox News that Twiggs developed a hatred for Christians and conservatives. Oh, that's an interesting thing that the mainstream media hasn't talked about.
Pause,
Isn't that a little
profit.
interesting thing the mainstream media hasn't talked about? He hated us. He was not raised that way. But he, over the years, has become really detached and become radicalized, the relative said. The relative added that Twiggs was always angry, and his behavior got worse over the past few years. They also speculated that Twiggs may have influenced Robinson's politics.
There's no
during their
grapple
time
in this
together.
one either, so I can't just.
Well, there's no more convincing. Well, I'm not going to make.
Can't
a
hook
conclusion
shot.
here, but, you know, it is my personal channel, which I hope you'll subscribe to. But
Wouldn't that be dope? It'd be
know,
like
the guy-
Zelda, like
you
the
know,
old
if you
days,
get
where you could
blown by
actually,
somebody, you might
you
be
would
willing
like
to listen to
find
more.
the
Let's
hook
do it,
shot
Elizabeth.
later on in the
I made a
game,
joke anyway, sorry.
like in the
I
story.
think Tyler got a
Yeah,
whole
I
lot
miss that
worse
shit.
in the year that they were
You gotta
dating.
like progress
They are big
through the
gamers.
game by
Obviously, they
like
want,
you beat a
that
dungeon and then you get like some big item from
But my
it,
gut tells
and
me
that
Twiggs
item
did a
will
lot
help
more
you get
influence.
through certain parts of the
Twiggs was
game.
dragged in the investigation when Robinson texted
They
him.
don't do that much anymore, do they? That I can really, unless I'm being retarded and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But I don't.
Was
At
deeply
least,
involved in the planning and execution of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
what was
That's what
when
I
was the
believe.
last
I'm not
game
being like Candace Owens and
that was
stating it as
played?
fact or just asking questions? I'm just saying this is what I believe, and I have no evidence to support it. But I just don't buy that Tyler, who is doing this to protect or
I
to
want to say
revenge
like, okay, so in
Lance,
4 there was
his
like the
boyfriend,
thing where you had to
would
like
not have said
throw
anything.
it, the biomass or
We
whatever,
know
the
these things
bio
take some amount of planning.
metal,
We
whatever
also
shit.
know young people generally
It's
can't
like,
keep their
was it
mouths shut.
really that?
That's why several of these other local
Because there are key
trans
points
radical
of the
groups
game
seem to
that
have
it's like, dude, I
prior
wish I
knowledge
had
of
the
the
hook shot right now. I
So
could get
if
to that
these
spot.
other local groups had prior knowledge of the
Or
event,
the bombs too. The bombs are
supposed to
another big
believe they
one.
knew,
Once you got
but
the bombs, you could actually get through
Lance's
walls.
boyfriend didn't know anything
Yeah.
about it. They
That was
share a
just
bed,
good
but he didn't know
design.
anything about
Good
it.
design.
I don't believe that. I also
He's
need
all
to know
talking
more
news. I'm
about why
talking
this
like
guy's in
old
witness
school
protection.
Zelda.
I guess I don't know for a fact that
Hey,
he's in witness
turn around.
protection, but I suspect he's in witness protection. And that's the only thing that I can say.
Need to
Like, what else?
watch
Why else
Silence
is he in a
of
safe
the Lambs
space?
tonight.
I mean, why wouldn't you just say staying with
So I
family?
can take some
or-
notes
or any
on
of
a
these
skit
other
that I am doing.
There are some legitimate
Oh!
questions here that aren't exactly crackpot.
Oh!
I would like to see some information from the FBI and Cash Patel describing to me how exactly they cleared Lance so quickly when Lance, let's not forget, had destroyed evidence. He destroyed the post-it note that said, that he did it or something like that. Now, he took a picture of it, but then he still destroyed it. He destroyed evidence. So what other evidence did he destroy? And how can you say that he's completely innocent when he destroyed evidence? I just don't buy this. And also, he clearly radicalized him. What groups did he introduce him to? What other, there's a lot of things worth investigating around Lance Twiggs. I don't know why he's getting treated the way he is. Very, very odd to me. Make sure you keep
Should
it
we go-
locked in here.
Yeah,
Join
let's
the
go hit
Discord,
this
the
up.
members area.
I bet you I can.
To get news
I bet you I
far
can kill him now.
quicker than I can generally release it in video form.
I'm
all
already
your support
tired
on
of the
this new
side mission.
channel, and we'll
Let's
talk
just
to you
go do
again
it.
soon.
Let's go hit it. It's 5 o'clock. What do we got, Tim? Old Timmy Cast.
With us
Currently
again,
streaming. Let's
declare-
back it up and start it on. Sorry.
Riots
Ate some
outside
raw
ICE
fish for
facility in
lunch.
Suburbs of Chicago.
I just
Rioters
grabbed a fish and
scream
I was
that people should shoot ICE. ICE responds with tear
The
gas,
fuck?
pepper spray, Vehicles are swarmed. It's not the most egregious thing we've seen, but following the several the terror attacks we've seen against
It's just every day now. That's what it is. It's just like, oh
this
yeah,
degree of
just
violence
riots and
to
shit in the
escalate. So
streets
we'll go
and
through,
just like
everything that we're seeing there.
full-on
We then got a couple
warfare
of really crazy
escalation.
stories. Apparently, there's a superintendent in Iowa who is an illegal immigrant who has been arrested. He was working the school system there, which is very shocking and confusing. And oh boy, it gets crazier. Donald Trump is discussing whether or not they should begin to drone strike inside Venezuela. So the external, let's say,
Oh yeah, all day, baby.
pretty alarming.
I just needed some
Alongside
guns.
What we're seeing now internally, the federal government has ordered ICE agents
Eat it, bitch.
not to remove their masks, not to abide by.
Oh my God, that's chunking.
A federal and state clash. Many people have suggested Gavin Newsom will just back down. But all of this has asking questions about where we currently are at as a country. Russia is threatening to go to war with us, saying that NATO already declared war on them and not to shoot down their planes, which have violated NATO airspace, including ours, reportedly. Trump talking about bombing Venezuela with drones. All I can say is, holy crap. Now, we're going to talk about all that, but before we do, we've got a great sponsor tonight. It is Beam Dream. My friends, I love Beam Dream. I drink it every single night. Go to
just beamed
/Tim Pool.
up some dream.
Off. Beam Dream has there's a bunch of different
Tim
drinks, but I like
Pool's
the cinnamon
dream.
Cocoa, hot cocoa. You drink it right before bed. I do every
Full
single night.
on
I'm drinking
steam.
a better one 'cause I ran out of the cocoa one. It's got L-theanine, it's got magnesium, it's got melatonin.
Talk
It is
to win.
amazing. I literally do drink it every night. My sleep score has been 95,
He's got a
9600. I use this
low
sleep
acidity
tracker.
coffee.
Absolutely incredible, and I absolutely
I
recommend
don't
it.
know. I can't
15
freestyle.
calories, no
It's not my
added sugar.
forte.
Go to shopbeam.com/Tim Pool. Check it out. Shout out to Beam for sponsoring the show. And don't forget to go to
I got a whole lot of nothing on that.
Click join us and get in that Discord community. As everything seems to be breaking
That is the main
apart
mission?
and
Yeah,
we-
no, it isn't.
Look, I honestly
This
don't
is the
know
main
what's going
mission.
to happen in this country. Community is the most important thing.
I was
Having
looking at the
networks, having
diamond.
Connections, people who can help you out, people you can help out.
Kill Mouthpiece?
Building a culture is the most important thing we can do. And as a member, you're helping sustain the work that we
Who
do.
did I
So
just kill?
Go to timcast.com.
I was not even thinking about it. I was like,
Join
oh,
us.
that's a boss, right? And I just kind of killed him and was on my way. I was like, all right, what's next?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
so good
why are
looking.
you? Why is there two Ians?
I'm the hottest man on earth, Tim.
That is a weird thing. Just
That is bizarre.
Phil's shrugging at it. Ian
Holy
is on the website.
fuck!
I told you I was gonna win.
Must be a coding error.
One is AI.
Anyway, yeah. Smash the like button, my friends. Share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Christian Maxwell.
Hi, well, pleasure to be here with you guys. This is going to be great.
Who are you? What do you do?
So my name is Christian Maxwell. I'm running for Congress in Illinois. I'm running as a Republican, which is what people do not do. They usually tell you to sneak in as an independent and just then do all the Republican things. But I definitely decided to run as a loud and proud Republican because it's how I live.
How's the reaction, though? Chicago has been ruled by Democrats for 100 years.
It has, but if you look at Illinois and how I voted during that last election, it's a red state. It is a red state with a big blue dot. So I think that right now Illinois is at a precipice where they understand that they can't go another 4 years, another 2 years with all these blue representatives who truly don't care about the future of the state. So it's really time for a change to happen.
It is pretty funny, actually. This happens periodically where we'll book a guest and it will be weird news timing because the riots from ICE are happening just outside of Chicago.
Literally.
And there's a big conversation about what the federal law enforcement should be doing, National Guard. So this is perfect. We'll talk about this. Thanks for hanging out. We got Ian hanging out.
Everybody, good to be here. Ian Crossland in the house. Let's just get to it. Hey, Phil. I was going to describe myself. There's too many words.
It's too hard to encapsulate in just a one sentence.
Know me.
Hello, everybody. My name's Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Here's the story from Axios, Chicago. Broadview ICE protests grow despite fence and gas. And apparently it is
Got about 10
ongoing.
minutes
Now,
left,
the crazy
guys,
thing
and then
about
I
this is that we've got these
gotta
videos.
get
The first thing I want to
going.
earmuffs for the kids. This may be a bit vulgar, but I think the context is important. It's from Blaze Media. This is in the early stages of the protest. Listen to this.
Jesus.
Okay, I think you heard that already. Now that's important.
Don't think they're
context.
mincing words
You begin
anymore.
to look at where we're going from there with this video from BG on the scene. So for those that are just listening, you have a crowd of people blocking and obstructing an ICE vehicle. Savannah Hernandez tweets, "It's a serious failure on behalf of the Trump administration, and the fact that ICE vehicles are still being mobbed and nothing is being done about it is quite frankly embarrassing. ICE agents were just shot at and almost killed, and the admin continues to allow this." We have this video from Nick Sorter. It's a Fox News report.
Just a second, but we want to go back to the protests at the Broadview ICE facility in Illinois that Mike Tobin was reporting on all morning. You've got some breaking news on that.
Yeah, we have about 200 protesters there on the ground. We actually had our law enforcement just confiscate a firearm from one of these protesters, or really rioters are what they are, as they're obstructing law enforcement vehicles from being able to enter that facility. And John, this is just 2 days after we saw that vicious, disgusting attack on our law enforcement facility down in Dallas, where one detainee was killed and 2 are currently in serious condition. And that psychopath opened fire indiscriminately on our ICE law enforcement, on the facility and on the van. And the fact that there is now a firearm, or there was a firearm there in Chicago, is very alarming.
I think people need to understand as well, the vehicles in the ICE terror attack were not buses. They were white vans, is my understanding. And so the individual who fired on them did not know, it seems that they were detainee transport. And it seems that they were just shooting on ICE vehicles thinking they were targeting law enforcement, ended up hitting these detainees. We're at a rock and a hard place. Can we really say that this is a protest? We are well past the point where we can tolerate people wearing masks, bringing weapons, and physically attacking law enforcement vehicles when we are dealing with this degree of terrorism. So perhaps 5-10 years ago, we could tolerate that this is not free speech.
No.
It's a riot, but do we want to escalate by arresting? And the cops often would say, let's just push through it. But now that it's gotten to the level where we've had, I think, 3 terror attacks on ICE facilities in 3 months, this is no longer a matter of free speech. Technically, 10 years ago, this is still illegal. You want to protest or want to hold signs outside the facility, that's free speech. When you start physically attacking their vehicles to any degree after these terror attacks happen, I gotta say, to Sam's point, why isn't the Trump admin just saying, lock them up?
I agree. I wholeheartedly think these people should be locked up. They are obstructing these officials and doing their work. And when you're tampering with people who are doing carrying out missions like this, like, you really are getting involved in something that's very dangerous. They're trying to arrest somebody in general is a really precarious situation. Having someone hurling insults and getting very close to you with phones, trying to divulge your identity, is not what those men signed up for. ICE agents, law enforcement officials, they deserve to go home and to be safe. They are law-abiding citizens. Why are we not on the side of our law-abiding citizens who are doing their job?
Yeah, it needs to be like,
So, to your point, Tim, like,
it's just like, it's so ridiculous now. It's like,
going on
why are they
for
locking
a
up these
decade
people?
or more is
It's just
actually
straight up
why
one
right
little
now
quick segment of just,
there are
they're attacking ICE. Yeah, they're literally attacking law enforcement.
these
The more
types
you
of
know.
behaviors need to be
Where it's
shut
just like,
down
what
as
else
soon
needs
as
to be said?
So that way, people like
It's like, remember back in the day? Yeah, anybody who punched a cop was like, what the fuck were you thinking? Now it's like, well, you know.
This, they should all get arrested. Like anyone
It's
out
like,
there,
what-
they should.
what
they should go and
changed?
get the local law
Accountability.
enforcement should
You
come
don't know
and
how
they
to
should
take
wrap
any-
them
No!
all up, and they should all get charged. I don't know what the charges exactly would be, but they should all get, inhibiting the lawful execution of law enforcement
I mean, if you're
duties.
touching them, then give them for assaulting the law.
Every single law.
You
that
are,
they've
yeah.
broken,
If you're
it's on
touching a
because
cop,
they've got
then
cameras. Every law they've broken, they should be.
if you're
prosecuted
attacking the
for.
vehicle, I don't see
And
why that would
this
be much
should-
worse, or
this
like
should-
really anything different.
That should happen at every ICE facility, everywhere across the
It
country.
should be such a notice put out that people are like, you know what, it's not worth the risk. And their meetings, they meet before they do this. They don't just pop up. They had a strategy meeting and they decided that this was worth the risk. You know why they said it was worth the risk? Because Pritzker told them.
Yeah.
And Brandon Johnson told them, we are going to push back. They're literally, when Pritzker did that speech and said conservatives should know no peace, he laid the groundwork for what happened. Oh God, pull up the speech. He literally said they should. He said
Really?
He said they should know no peace. He said it in a speech. I think he was
Thank you,
from the
sir.
West Coast when he said it, and it enraged Illinoisans because it was basically like a
Whoa.
kind of like
Yeah.
had a war
Because
message.
April, the Republicans cannot know a moment of peace.
That laid the groundwork for what we saw happen to Charlie Kirk. He went on a tour telling people to wage war against conservatives and Republicans.
I've been saying this for the past couple of days. If there are any politicians out there,
Yes.
whether they be state level or they be federal level, if you truly believe that that it is time for the temperature to come down in the United States, what you need to do is get out in front of a camera somewhere and say, we need people to allow ICE to do their job.
Yes.
That is a simple, basic, easy to do, low bar, real easy kind of thing to ask for. And it's every single person that's an elected official should say, we want law enforcement to be able to safely do their job. And if you can't do that, then you don't actually want, you don't want de-escalation, you want more escalation, you want more violence.
For disruption. But I am now.
Let me start over.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now.
It was evil.
Whoops, just real quick.
For
I'm wondering why like not a single Republican has said anything like that. Ever.
Never.
disruption.
No, we don't wage war.
But I am now.
I mean, I was into mass non-compliance during the COVID mandates.
Yeah.
I said I would.
These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
He's forgetting one part of that quote. When he said the soapbox and the ballot box, there's an implied statement because the rest of that poem is, or phrase, or whatever you want to call it. Do you know what it is, Ian?
No, I've heard it before though.
It's you castigate them at the soapbox, you beat them at the ballot box, or you load the cartridge box.
Oh. But he even goes on to say, basically risk life and limb. Like, this speech was really toxic. It was really bad.
So tonight, I'm telling you what I'm willing to do, and that's fight for our democracy, for our liberty, for the opportunity for all of our people to live lives that are meaningful and free. And I see around me tonight a room full of people who are ready to do the same. So I have one question for all of you, Granite Staters. Are you ready for the fight?
So the
in the right place.
The 4 boxes of liberty, it's called.
Yeah.
And it's the soapbox, the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box.
Wow.
There's a.
That's what they're calling for him to be impeached right now in whatever it's called in Illinois.
Will he go to prison like the rest of the governors?
He needs to. I mean, it's like a rite of passage in Illinois. If you
Right.
serve an office, you end up going to prison for a
You're not really a governor if you don't go to
You
prison.
gotta go spend some
Are you
time.
really a hometown, local, born and bred if you don't go to prison
Yeah,
after
you need
serving
to go.
office?
I mean,
You at least have to be indicted, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Indicted?
He laid the groundwork for a lot of this violence. He gave people permission to be as violent, to lean into their violent delights. And he made it where it went from people debating to now they're like, you know what? I don't care if I get hit by a car. I don't care if I have to.
All of the proper responses to that kind of rhetoric are TOS violations.
This is actually
Yeah.
crazy. Let me read. I think many people are familiar with the 4 boxes of liberty.
It is that
Which
time.
says the
I got
soapbox
to get
represents
going.
exercising one's right to freedom of speech. To
Y'all have a good night.
influence politics, to defend liberty. The ballot box
And I
represents
hope to see
exercising
you
one's
in
rights to
a
vote,
few
to
days.
elect a government, to defend liberty.
You'll probably watch
The
this
jury
like
box
months after I've already
represents
posted
jury
this, but
nullification, to
totally cool.
refuse to convict
It's for the
someone
record.
being prosecuted
That's all
for
I'm doing it
breaking an
for.
unjust law that decreases liberty in the cartridge box.
Peace out.
Represents exercising one's
Hopefully
right
you
to
win
keep their
your
arms to
fantasy leagues this week as well.
a tyrannical
So I
government.
know I probably won't.
Boxes represent increasingly forceful
No, I
methods
will.
of political
I will.
action.
Got to
We've
go
already